Hello all and welcome to TVM Academy. This is VARC 100, a free practice course for CAT purple section, RC number 52 of this series. The RCs are shared on our Telegram group. They're also shared on our portal in the test form. Links are there in the description of this video. Let's begin. A quick synopsis of the passage first. In the first paragraph, author introduces 5 writers and tells us that they had a common belief. They were all humanistic in nature. That is, they believe that human being is the center of the universe. And if you seek knowledge of the universe, you should start with yourself. So only by self-knowledge, only through self-knowledge can you know the universe, because you ultimately are the center of the universe. That's their shared belief. Okay. In the second paragraph, author tells us that their writings had a universal character rather than individual emphasis. So though the titles could be misleading, Emerson wrote maybe a book or a poem or something called American Scholar. So though the title of this work was American Scholar, it did not stand only for Americans. It had a universal character. It was applicable to all human beings. Okay, so their writings had a universal character. Second paragraph also tells us that they all also believed that the two conflicting psychological tendencies that human beings have. On the one hand, human beings want to assert their individual identity. They want to be separate from others. They want to be, different from, unique. On the other hand, they also want to be one with the universe. They want to understand and experience the wholeness of the universe in one moment. These two conflicting psychological tendencies have to be harmonized. So this was also a common belief shared by these 5 writers. Okay. Finally, the last paragraph, author tells us that they also believe that knowledge about the external world can be obtained through introspection, intuition, and imagination, rather than through science or logic. So they emphasized the use of intuition, introspection, and imagination in knowing the external world, rather than using science or logic. So basically, what is this passage about? The passage is about the shared beliefs of these 5 writers. So their writings had a certain commonalities. The author points these commonalities out. That is what he's doing. Okay. The author's discussion of these 5 writers is primarily concerned with explaining what? Explaining shared beliefs that they had. And what was the shared belief? Let's see. Okay. Option A. The way some of their beliefs are shaped by differences in temperament and literary outlook. Not the correct answer, factually incorrect. Some of their beliefs about the difficulties involved in self-realization. Again, the commonality between these 5 writers was not that they believed it is difficult to self-realize. No, nowhere mentioned again. So alien idea. Option C, the effects of some of their beliefs on their writings. Could be the answer, but let us examine the next option. To explain some of their beliefs concerning the world and the place that humanity occupies in the universal order. This is more precise because it covers the important aspect of humanism, that their beliefs were humanistic in nature. Only option D covers or captures that idea. Therefore, the best available answer, option D. All right. According to the passage, the 5 writers object to the scientific method primarily because they think what? It was written in the last paragraph. They object to scientific method because they think that the clue to external nature, if you want to know the external world, if you want to know the nature, if you want to know the universe, it is to be found in the inner world of individual psychology and by their interpretation of experience as symbolic. So you have to interpret your own self to be able to correctly interpret the outside world. And that is why science cannot help there. Only intuition and imagination can offer a surer path to doing that. All right. Also, please note, it was also written that their beliefs also assume that there's an organic relationship between self and the cosmos. Us and the universe are connected. And because we are connected, only intuition and imagination can properly account. Science cannot account for it. Okay. So option A, because scientific method is not the best way to obtain an understanding of the relationship between the individual and the cosmos. Exactly. The sentence itself tells you that only intuition and imagination can properly take account of the organic relationship between the self and the cosmos. So science is not the best way, clearly. That is what can be inferred. Can properly, intuition and imagination can properly take account only intuition and imagination, which means science cannot properly take account, or in other words, it's not the best way to understand the relationship between the self and the universe. Okay. Scientific method is so specialized that it leads to understanding of separate parts. Alien idea, nowhere mentioned. That it leads to specialized knowledge. Okay. That it prevents people from recognizing the symbolic nature of experience. Wait. Has the author written that science prevents people from recognizing the symbolic nature of experience? No. The idea is that imagination and intuition help us understand the symbolic nature of experience better. Does not mean science prevents us from doing so, but maybe science is inadequate. Prevention means science is a technique which goes against this idea. Science is not against recognition of symbolic nature of experience. Science simply is inadequate, insufficient, maybe. That's what we can infer from the given. So this is an exaggeration. It does not prevent us. Maybe it is inadequate. Maybe it is inadequate, but it does not prevent us from recognizing the symbolic nature of experience. Okay, option C is out. D, it misleads people into believing that they have an understanding of truth when they do not. Again, an alien idea, nowhere mentioned in the passage. Next. Which of the following statements would be compatible with the beliefs of the 5 writers mentioned in the passage? Statement 1, democracy works as a form of government because every individual is unique. Such a cause and effect relationship is not mentioned anywhere in the passage. In other words, it is not written that because of the uniqueness of individuals, democracy is working. Cause and effect relationship is not mentioned. Nature alone exists, and each person is nothing more than a shadow of that substance, which is the world. Wait. Statement 2 now, gives undue importance to nature. Nature alone exists. Human being is just a shadow of the nature. Their belief is quite to the contrary. They believe that humans are the spiritual center of the universe, and we must understand humans first to understand nature. So their emphasis is on human, and statement 2 is contradictory because it emphasizes upon nature. So statement 2 is contrary to what the passage asserts, or these 5 writers asserted. The human mind is capable of discovering the meaning of life and understanding the order in the universe. Of course, he is capable. That's why these writers believe that you should start from within. Self-knowledge. If you first paragraph, all knowledge begins with self-knowledge. So basically, yes, you are capable of obtaining knowledge about the universe, but in order to do so, you should start with yourself. So of course, human mind is capable. Whether or not you achieve the potential, we don't know. So option 3, statement 3 is correct. Option B is correct. It can be inferred that intuition is important to the 5 writers, primarily because it provides them with doing what? It is important. Why? Okay, let's see. Option A, intuition gives them information useful for understanding abstract logic and scientific method. Wait, they don't want to use scientific method at all. It's not that intuition gives them way to understand science. Intuition is one way of understanding the nature between yourself and the universe. Science is another way to understand the outside nature of the world. And these writers believe that intuition is a better way. Science is not a better way. Does not mean intuition gives you science or intuition leads to an understanding of science. Option A is twisted fact. Facts twisted. Option B, the discipline needed in the search for. Nowhere has the passage talked about discipline. Intuition is important because it helps them understand. It's a proper way of understanding the nature between oneself and the universe. It does not provide any discipline, so to say. So alien idea, the means of resolving conflicts between the self and the world. Tempting choice for some of you, but this idea was mentioned in the 2nd paragraph, not the 3rd one. And these writers do not believe that intuition and imagination help us resolve conflicts between the self and the world. The conflicts must be resolved. Yes, it was mentioned in the 2nd paragraph that the conflicts must be resolved between the self and the world. But intuition and imagination, it was not mentioned in the 3rd paragraph that intuition and imagination help us resolve these conflicts. Also, please note, conflict was not really between self and the world. It was between self and the self. Why do I say so? Because there are two psychological tendencies mentioned in the passage. What are the two psychological tendencies? The first tendency is where? Yeah. So two psychological tendencies which are conflicting. What are they? Number one, you want to assert that you are unique and you are separate. So individuality is one tendency, psychological tendency. Second, you want to experience the world in single moment. You want to embrace the world. You want to be one with the world. But that's your desire again. So the conflict is not between the self and the world. The conflict is between the two parts of yourself. One which wants to remain unique and individual, another which wants to be part of the bigger world. But the world is not presenting any conflict, really. It's your psychology which is presenting the conflict. Therefore, option C is also factually incorrect. It's not the answer to the question anyway, but it's also factually incorrect. Okay. Intuition and imagination provide them with clues to the interpretation of symbolic experience explicitly mentioned here. It gives them tools to interpret symbolic experience. All right. Last question. The passage is most relevant to which of the following areas of study? This was probably the most tricky question of the set. If you got this one right, kudos to you. Now, it's most relevant to which of the following areas of study? Let's see. Linguistics and art. Is it talk about languages or about literature? Languages are different. Linguistics would mean what are morphemes, what are the smaller units of sound, how languages evolved, with time, something like that. The passage is not about linguistics. Also, art, entirely alien to the passage. Passage is about literature, and that too literature of 5 special writers. Okay. So history and literature, okay, could be the answer. Literature is fine. He discusses these 5 writers only, literary perspective. He discusses in literature. History, okay, maybe, because author also says that he tells us about their writing style, how it evolved, what were their common assumptions, etc. So history, I'm doubtful, but okay, could be the answer. Literature at least is correct. Theology and sociology. What is theology? Theology is about God. It's about God. Now, some of you might associate wrongly associate the idea of the universe to the idea of God. However, universe is different, it's nature, and God is different. You can't associate the two ideas. And therefore, the topic of discussion cannot be theology, the study of gods and the study of religions. No, rather it is humanism, the study of the importance of human being as a spiritual center of the universe. Okay, so theology is out clearly. Anthropology, how human beings evolved. Please note that author of this passage focuses on 5 writers, and therefore is not focusing on humanity in general. Who focused on humanity? These 5 writers focus on humanity, and that too not exactly on humanity, but on humanism. But okay, even if we assume that they focus on the importance of human beings, it was these writers who did. Passage does not focus. Passage only talks about these writers. Therefore, the passage is literary in nature. It talks about literature rather than anthropology. Political science, again, is clearly an alien idea. There's no politics involved anywhere in the passage. Correct answer has to be option B. Best available option B. Hope you got at least 4 out of these 5 questions correct. Hope you're improving. Until next time, bye-bye, guys. Don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends. And also share word about TVM. Spread word about TVM, guys. Until next time, bye-bye. Cheers to learning.